Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the CPNG first annual shop convo. Shout out to my man Rue for letting us have this wonderful event at his spot, Barbers on Broad, 1220 North Broad Street. All right, my name is Lewis Jones III. I'm the host of the Cool People's Networking Group. Over a decade of keeping our people paid. We're gonna get right into it with our first guest, Ambition the Poet.
My name is Ambition Harper. What I do, I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I'm a poet, I'm a motivator, I'm a journalist. I do a lot of things. Where you can find me is Ambition Harper on Instagram. You can find me Ambition Harper on YouTube. Ambition the Poet, if you Google that as well. I'm everywhere. And the one fun fact about me is that I love to speak, I love to write, and I love to motivate people.
Yeah, I'm Ant Mac 215. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I own about 4 businesses and working on 2 other ventures. Fun fact about me, I also work with Kevin Hart and Heartbeat Productions. I used to rap and I teach economics. You can find me at Ant Mac 215 and Platinum Farms 215 store where we teach health and wealth.
Hello, I'm Nico. I go by Nico the Financial Gentleman or Nico the Investor. I'm a business banker, but also I trade stocks, I trade options, cryptocurrency, anything you name it, I can help you pretty much trade it. A fun fact about me, I was in the Army for 10 years and I'm ridiculously diligent. I'm one of the best business bankers in the city of Philadelphia. I'll help you get business lines of credit, business credit established, and I can help you get funding. We do equipment financing and a whole bunch of things in the financial district. Nico.
My name is Josh. I'm a project manager contractor. You can find me on Instagram, Ashton Davidson DP. A fun fact about myself is that I'm a bowler, semi-bowler, and I'm also working on content, in the future to show people in my community how to bowl.
Yo, what's up, everybody? So for our very first question for our distinguished panel, we're gonna ask, what was it like growing up in their respective cities?
So for me, what it was like growing up was interesting. I'm a foster child from Nicetown on Small Grass Street. And I'm so thankful that someone from West Oak Lane was able to take me out of Nicetown and take me to Jersey. I still believe to this day that a lot of black people at that time were moving from the cities into the suburbs. And those suburbs are Lindenwold, and the one I landed in is Sicklerville. Some people went into the suburbs of South Jersey. So we have different pockets of South Jersey that have black people who got a little bit of money and moved into the suburbs. So for me, it was very interesting trying to adjust from literally being in poverty and then ended up in middle class. So now people are making fun of me because of the way I look, the way I dress. And at that time, I don't believe that the black people of that area knew what a foster child was or whatever the city and the people, how we live, what we talk like. I think I was just a new thing to that particular town. But growing up was cool, except for just trying to adjust to the financial conditions that they had that I didn't. So when you're a foster child, you don't have the way to dress, the sneaks, none of that. And so the whole time for me in childhood is trying to explain who I am, why my mom don't look like me, just trying to explain to children what I am and where I come from. But then on the flip side, I came back to Philly trying to explain to people who are from Philly that I'm from Philly, but now I don't live in Philly anymore. So it was just a mess. But I would not change it for the world. I'm grateful that I got a chance to live in the suburbs. I got a chance to live in areas that some people can only dream of. And I'm so grateful to God, because had I had stayed in Nicetown, had I had stayed in the foster care in Philadelphia, I would not be here speaking to you today on this camera. I know that for sure. So I'm just grateful for God for my situation, even though it's complicated, being born in Philly, being there until I'm 10, and the complications of being in Philly but being raised in the suburbs. I'm thankful. So that's just a quick synopsis of what happened to me.
I was born and raised in North Philadelphia, 22nd and Lehigh. But my family was gypsies. They moved all over Philadelphia, from Germantown to South Philly to Logan to Albany to Southwest Philly. So I know people from all around different areas. And coming up, I could say it was very geographical back then, but I got a pass because I knew people from all different neighborhoods. And that's how I grew up. I love this city, and I'm here to make this city better and try to stop what's going on with the violence with the kids and us dying from having a bunch of poisons in our body. That's why I teach health. And like the brother over here said, Nico, teaching financial literacy. That's what it's about in Philadelphia.
All right. I'm from West Philadelphia. Most of my family, my mother's from South Philadelphia, my father's from North Philadelphia. Grew up in West Philly, 49th and Thompson, was born right there, Thomas Jefferson Hospital. My parents moved me out of West Philly, probably going from middle school into high school. And one thing that I remember during that time frame is I remember hating moving. Just like Ambition the Poet, my parents moved to Sicklerville, so it was a better school system and everything like that, you know, different environment, which I appreciate now. But at the time, I just remember being, you know, hating moving from Philadelphia, feeling like that's my home. I'm like a piece of me is being ripped apart. But one thing that I learned from my parents is in the long run is to trust the process. You know, that's one of the Philly slogans. Even back then, I always felt like that, trust the process. Because everything that you know, it's better to learn, you know, things outside of your environment. So I'm glad that I have a little bit of West Philly and a little bit of Jersey, because now the finished product of myself is a combination of both, you know. So I just appreciate everything I encounter. I was in the Army for 10 years, so, you know, you got to learn to adapt and learn to be something new. There's nothing wrong with adapting and being a better version of yourself. We all trying to be better versions of ourselves, whatever that looks like to ourselves. So, you know, that's what I do. I want to make sure that everybody knows that you can be whatever you want to be, and you're not a product of your environment. You're a product of everything you go through. It all becomes, you know, it all comes together to make who you are in the end.
Coming up for me, so I grew up at Percy Street, Erie Avenue. My parents was there. I was going to Harold Davis Christian School for a little bit. We happened to move to Northeast. Growing up, it was just, you know, a bit of a lot. You know, my parents, you know, worked 9-to-5 jobs, and, you know, it was just crazy to see how they sacrificed to, you know, see how to make things good for me. But, you know, I'm just happy that growing up, I was around, like, you know, grounded friends. Like, we was always trying to, you know, hustle. It was times where we pretty much would go out when it snowed to shovel snow. You know, we had those moments, as well as just trying to make $1. I'll never forget, you know, my homie Drake, shout out my man Drake. He was just like, man, come on, bro, we going, you know, sharpen some pencils. I'm like, sharpen some pencils? He's like, yeah, man, 5 cents. I didn't really understand it then, but then, like, as I fast forward, he's more so having that mentality, like, yo, like the entrepreneurship mentality. So coming up, it was just like just learning different aspects of life, you know, just through the people I meet. Like I said, I'm a bowler, so growing up, I started off bowling, just started meeting people in my community. That's how I, like, pretty much found out about, like, what was going on. Regardless if people was retired, you know, I always knew that people had a story, and the biggest thing is that you can always learn from somebody. So, you know, growing up for me was always a learning experience.
All right, so we just wrapped up our first round of questions. So the next question is, what was your first job, and what was it like, and what memories come to mind?
My first job was in McDonald's on Sicklerville Road. Anybody from Sicklerville will tell you that's like one of the most popular McDonald's that we have. One of the things that I learned about working at that McDonald's was just a lot of people did not want to work. So what happened is that I only had a couple hours a week, and when people would call out, I would literally hustle the hours. So most people wanted to go out on Fridays, or they didn't want to work on Fridays. So I would ask everyone at the job, do you want to work on Friday? Do you want to work on Saturday? I would take all of their hours. And at that time, that was the first time I learned that I can outwork people and not take their money, but literally take the free money that's there, because people are not willing to hustle. And so that job really taught me on how to outwork people, come to work with a certain work ethic, and just making sure that every day I show up to get money. I'm not playing games. I'm not here to play. Whoever don't want the money, do you want the money? And so I was just very aggressive, and that was, McDonald's taught me how to be aggressive and to go after the things that I want. Yeah.
Well, since we talk about jobs, I can't say that I ever had a real job being employed by another person in my life. was a drug dealer all my life. That's where I learned entrepreneur skills like supply and demand and distribution. But then I got promoted to doing 11 years in prison. So that was my job history. Then I ended up working in the prison so I could get out early to start my entrepreneur career and go that route. But I learned things in the ghetto that if I knew what I was doing, I would have been successful moving any other product. So I had college hands-on training.
So I kind of have like a two-part story because I don't know what to consider for my first job. Technically, after high school, I went to military college, and I joined the military very early at 18. So I don't know if people consider that as a first job or not, but if you don't want to consider that, my first job as a civilian, I would say, outside of the military, was Family Dollar. It was cool. It was the first job I worked out of graduating military college. The only thing that I didn't like about it was I learned that they put a cap on not how much you pay, but actually how much you work. You can be a great worker and want to make more money or work more hours. They don't have them hours available for you. You can't make more money. So that's a problem to me. That was a problem that I learned very, very early on. I don't want to be capped on how much I make. I want to either be able to work how many hours I want to or however many hours I need to. And I ended up quitting that job, believe it or not, because I wanted to work a second job, and she told me that I would never get a job in retail again. I'll never forget that. Believe it or not, called my mom and everything like that because I wasn't even sure. Because like I said, it was my first job, and she was like, don't listen to that nonsense. I took a job with the Postal Service, and I just learned like, it's okay to work for jobs. You got to get in where you fit in. Sometimes working a job works good for, certain individuals. Sometimes, being an entrepreneur works great for some individuals. Sometimes, it's a hand-in-hand thing, like a Marie Calendar company. She just wanted to make pot pies, and it grew into whatever it grew into. So whatever you do, there's nothing wrong with working, there's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur, but make sure it fits for you is my main advice as far as working. I love being in the military. I was in the military for 10 years. The way that I did the military in 10 years might have been different from somebody else. So, you just kind of go the route. I was an officer in the Army. I didn't want nobody telling me orders. I wanted to be telling people orders. I didn't want nobody telling me what to do. I wanted to be able to making the calls, making the shots, and that's what I do. I'm a shot caller.
Man, first job, I worked at Walmart. And I remember exactly how much I got paid. It was $7.80. Y'all look at that. Y'all look at that. And, I mean, back then I had to get a job because I went to Penn State for a year and a half. Folks couldn't afford it, so I had to hop in the workforce. Like, I had to get out there. I wasn't too sure exactly how things was gonna go. I didn't have a plan. I had to make money. My grandfather wasn't having it because he like, look, you gotta have a job. You ain't gonna sit here and play video games all day. So, I had it. Walmart was my first gig. I was there for 4 years, and then after that, I had to find something new. What inspired me, I was like, I gotta go back to school, find something, because I knew that working off a $7.80 budget wasn't gonna get me a crib or anything. I mean, it may give me some food, but I had a little something. But at that time, I only knew about one stream of income. But fast forward, now we working on multiple streams of income. So, the majority of the story is not how you start, it's how you finish. So, like I said, I worked at Walmart. Just because what I made then doesn't equal to what I make now.
All right, no doubt. We're looking out for that round, guys. So the next question that we have is the impact of social media. What's been going on? Do you think it's going to be around 5 years? What's it like?
Do I think it'll be around in 5 years? I guess. That's cool. But the real question for me though is, how does it impact society? To me, it's unfortunate that so many people are on social media using it just like we kind of knew that people had warned us about, for all different type of things that is not necessary. And so that's unfortunate. For example, I still believe that social media contributes to the insecurity of black women. I believe it contributes to the hyper violent nature of black men. I mean, some people are using social media to go live to shoot people. Social media is being used to go live to do traps, make fun of different type of people, make fun of the way we live. I think that black people, in so many respects, have used social media in a negative way. I don't think that it's helpful. I think that in so many ways it really has infected our society for negative, and that's unfortunate. And so the way I feel about social media is just a dangerous thing, and I'm nervous about it because I understand so many people believe that their value is through the likes. Their value is between how many times their video gets shared. Their value is between how you feel and how you interact with their content, and not really how you feel about the actual person in person. And so there are some people I have met that are amazing online, and then when I meet them in person, they're a whole different person. What happened? You're not rehearsed. You're something that's polished for TV. That's basically what I call social media, is a bunch of people, Lou, that's good at acting. It's a bunch of actors. Excuse me if I could just say this, Lou, I'm so sorry. But there's a lot of people that are good at acting and looking good for content purposes. But when it comes to them on the street, I don't know who they are. Where's the good speaking? That's right. It took you 20 times to speak correctly. It took you 20 times to get the right outfit. But there's something about life. Eventually, when you talk to people and when you live this life, it cannot always be rehearsed. So social media, to me, yes, it's good for some, but it's a lot of negative for a lot of my people and a lot of people that I know. So I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer.
What's the positive side? What's the positive side of social media?
What's the positive side? A lot of people are, America again will tell you, I mean, it's good. You make a lot of money on there. It helps you with marketing. It helps you with getting your name out there. People who don't know you. A connection with family, I think, as well. But I do think there's some negative things that we need to be really concerned about. But yeah, there's positives and there's negatives to everything in life.
Whatever they want about us.
That's where the media comes. That's where the media part comes into socially. Like, of course, like you said, all of us is a little aged, whereas though we had to socially engage with each other.
Yeah,
social media is exactly what it is. Like the brother over here said, you make money off of it. That's what it's for too. It's a tool for all different things. But like you said, a gun is a gun to protect you, but some people use it for other reasons. But the engagement is a commercial. If you get caught up in the commercial, that's your fault. If you think everybody live luxuriously and happy, no, that's the commercial that they're giving you to engage into them.
Right.
Now, when you psychologically get caught up into the programming where it says follower, then yeah, you want to have followers. You want to be an idol. You want to be a guy. You want to be worshipped. You want to be liked. You become your own ecosystem, which is, it can be good and it can be bad. And like you said, this right here couldn't happen without the Internet of Things.
Is that because that's your answer? Since I was waiting to get your take.
Yeah, you might as well flow. Like, you might as well keep it flowing, man.
What's this?
That's the quickie joint. That's the
Well, what I was going to say is, for me, it freed me. Because my business, the people couldn't see what I do with the cars. So, over time, you know, I just work for myself now. So, in my case, it helped me. But another thing is, I don't play on there, though. I don't want people to see me playing or take me as a joke or anything. So, I don't be on there cracking jokes or playing like that. So, I use it for business purposes. But I use it at first, personal things to draw people in to what I'm doing personally to get them to the business. It was something I knew I could do. Have them, because people are nosy. So have them take a picture here, vacation there, Sixers game. And as I'm doing the Sixers game, I'm doing some business down there when I was still working in the dealerships. But my thing was always to get them to where I was trying to get them to now. So for me, it freed me.
I think sometimes the only thing I think about the media, and like you said, is that it makes, and this is the thing I always say, like the philosophy of social media or electronic or something that helps you can tap into laziness. I remember, like you said, the barbershop, with all respect to this was happening naturally. So the social media is just replicating what we used to do naturally. the barbershop was a place you always could come and just chill and just talk through.
Therapist.
It wasn't no camera. Like, you know what I mean? You did that naturally.
Right.
And that's weird because now he has to, I gotta hit these people up and then make an event and make it almost happen, something that used to happen naturally.
Right.
And so I get nervous about this, the way of that laziness. I always say this and kid about myself. I met my girl, my wife on Facebook, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I remember at the time you had to go to the club, or you had to walk up on a girl. You could not DM nobody. If you saw somebody, hold on, bro, while we talking, I'll be right back. I see something, and you had to walk up on, which was dangerous.
When they was in the group,
You had a group.
you had a
You was at a club. Yeah.
You know what? Lost art.
You know what I can say about that? That built character.
Exactly. I was
Built
saying,
you.
because that's cheating right now.
Walking up on walking up on girls sometimes it's tougher than walking up on, you know what I mean, a group of whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know how you gonna
How it's going down.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? It built character. So that's a good point.
You can even go a little further with it. All right, she gave you a number. You sit down. You pick up. You pick up with your house phone. You call. Either two things will happen: her dad or her mom's gonna pick up, or she picks up and your mom be like, "Drew, tell your company I need the phone." Like, damn, mom, come on! Like, hey, I pay this phone bill. No one.
I mean, we're wired to be socially engaged with each other. Period. Like I had a stepdaughter. She was coming home from school. She was like, this guy tried. He pulled over and got hopped out of the car. He was just trying to talk to her, but she freaked out.
Yeah, that's
Because she didn't grow up with how we grew up.
The hop out was normal. Hop out. You pull over the joint, yo. Yeah.
You can't do that now.
Then now you can do something like, yo, these girls be like, yo, it's over for you. I didn't know what he was trying to do.
Right.
Oh, we got 2 shots
Because
at
they
me.
socially awkward. Most of these kids go in their
Nico, you in the military. Do you want to speak on this subject?
Yeah, I'll speak. I think everything is just about perspective and like you said, expert matter, subject. Like anything can be used in a way that it's not intended for. Like there's somebody behind me right now cutting clippers. He's using that to cut clippers, but if he wanted to kill somebody or bash somebody's head in with that, he could do that. If he wanted to, cut something that he probably shouldn't, he could. It's just about how you use it. Using your camera right now for good. There's cameras that are used for paparazzi, for X, Y, and Z, or used for all types of malicious reasons. So it's like, just learn the tools that you're supposed to use and learn how to use them and learn how to make things advantageous for you. Like social media, I think social media in itself is one of the greatest tools that has come to us. Because like you said, I was in Afghanistan when I learned about CPNG. Had I not had social media, I would have never probably met none of y'all. I would have never learned about this. I started my business overseas, like literally overseas. Started the LLC in another country, and I was getting business in America. That can't happen without social media. So it's all about using the tools that you have. Like, social media can be so great. You can use it to share friends and photos with people you never, you don't see that often. There's people that I'm friends with who I've never met. I only know them on social media. Like, we legit friends. We might send money to each other, or we might, talk to each other to see how we're doing, checking up, or whatever the case is. But it's like stuff like that, even meeting somebody, temporary interactions can hurt. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes people be stalkers, X, Y, Z. Like I said, there's always a flip side to something, but due diligence will do you a lot of justice. Don't be coming. Don't somebody gonna fly into Philly ain't gonna just be like, oh, Kensington looks like it's a nice place. Let me just go here and just it's the first stop of my place in Philly. Like, look at where you going, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how it is. Just like doing your research wherever you go and using the tools that we have around us. The biggest tools that we have, other like social media, I feel like it's just us in there. Like, it's not even a thing. Like, it's really us inputting everything in social media. It's just a website, but it's us putting our thoughts into it, putting our businesses on there. Like, it is us. Like, we are social media in a sense. It's our sense or whatever. We're putting our brains. We're putting, we're connecting on there. So it's like, use the tool the way that it's, it should be used to help you do whatever you want to do. I met my wife on social media too. I met her on the dating app website. And ain't nothing wrong with it. Trust me, I'm capable. I can bag in person and do all that stuff and all that stuff too. But it's a greater tool. Why not be able to bag in person and bag online? Like, why does it gotta be this or that? Like, that's just more women to my access on the street and off the street. Like, you know, it's about how you think about it. So social media is great. Use it great, it'll be great. That's kind of how I feel.
We got this. Oh, we got the armor. We got the armor of the Lord on. But my grandpa, he didn't see 30,000 images. He saw maybe the postal lady. That's all he had. Right. And when you get that overstimulation.
But you know what? That's a good point that you add on though, with it going back then, right? Because people think that social media makes things happen. Without social media, people were still cheating. Without social media, people were still getting caught. Without social media, everything that was going on was still going on. It's just might have been more of a personal story that we met in here versus it's what was going on.
It's magnified.
It's magnified.
To the next level.
There's a lot of comparing and contrasting there.
It was hard, man. If your grandma was tracking your grandma,
What Antish doing?
he got grandma's tracking. He ain't had like
feel some type of way. So then she was
she had a hat just protractor. Finding out what was going on.
Yeah, this is great.
comparing themselves to what you're doing.
Come on.
You know, so we got to get out of that.
It's magnified. It's easy. If you was that guy on the street, you do even in school,
Oh, you gonna go magnify that too?
and you got that there, oh man, that's cheating.
It's cheating, but it is.
I just know what I'm talking about with
No,
that.
you know.
I got a lot of discipline, man. I'm telling you, man, I know what I was doing in the 80s and the 90s. I know.
Like this for practice. All right, fellas. So the next question for the floor is: who is the best male singer?
All right. Drew.
Yeah. The best male singing, I would say it's a pop. It's a I don't really listen to him, but I have to give it to him. They're like I'm known around the world. It's a Japanese pop group. I'm trying to remember who it is. K-pop. No, they're at their highest right now. I'm trying to think.
They're like 17.
No, he's the best group right now.
It's okay. I got you. I already know my answer. I just gonna get it out. I just want to say it real quick before I forget it, because I want to make sure I say it. Best male singer group in my personal opinion. Best male group in my personal opinion. Earth, Wind and Fire. Don't want to hear nothing. Better done with somebody crazy.
Earth, Wind, Fire.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
That's your favorite group?
The reasons why we're here.
Is that your favorite?
It's not my favorite. I'm talking about in all talented singing and what they doing. I mean, you can.
Are they really R&B? Or they more?
It don't matter.
Well, he said Mel. He said music. We doing certain categories. We doing rap.
All right, since he went old school, I'm gonna say Isaac Brothers.
See?
All day long, Isaac Brothers.
I couldn't wait to go to school.
You can't duplicate that sound from back in the day, man. Straight acapella, in the studio, whatever you want. Let's go, Isaac Brothers.
Sass.
That was a good job. That was a good job. Yeah. I ain't a big music person. Like I ain't too big on music or TV. But like I said, I couldn't think of nobody else, no other male group but Boys II Men. What? Bending Knee. What's the other John? The Mama song. They got hits. That's the only male group I know. Or that I can possibly think about. That's the only one I can think about. But I rock with. What did you say? Isaac Brothers. Temptations. Yo, my speed. Earth, Wind and Fire. Fuck about my Earth, Wind and Fire.
You need to go Earth, Wind and Fire.
He should have said Temptations.
Jackson 5.
Who you got in this?
Jackson 5.
Like, bro, so I can only talk about the era that I was able to actually understand. Jodeci. They got an album. Jodeci got an album. Like, they have. Jodeci got these songs where it's nothing but hits. Like,
Didn't they do a versus?
Yeah.
But they were saying
No. They
did. They did.
Earth, Wind, and Fire went against the Idols.
Jodeci has the best bedroom soundtrack. It's not even close. Like, if you play that Jodeci late night musical, it's over. Hit after hit.
I just brought it between the sheets, bro.
I I ain't gonna lie, I haven't went before. When they was out? 60, 70, 80?
I mean, I just know what I
In the
heard.
50s, you make me want to shout. That's the 50s.
Yeah, I mean,
That was in Philadelphia.
I'm born in 85. I'm not going to say. I'm going to Jodeci, Jagged Edge, I'm not about to say Earth, Wind, and Fire. You ain't had an A-track? He got sampled a lot. See, the Earth, Wind, and Fire song was sampled.
Underrated Tony. They never raised the Southern
You can say like Silk. Silk was underrated.
All right. Next time. So, all right. I hope everybody got similar answers though. But what was the best '90s sitcom? You already know mine. So I ain't
What's yours?
Oh,
Said 90s what?
sitcom.
Martin was good. Wait, everybody gonna say Martin, but I will say no, Jamie Foxx show. That's my first opinion. That was my show. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, Jamie Foxx show was my hit. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm going with I'm gonna have to say Fresh Prince, man. Uncle Phil.
Oh yeah.
Fresh Prince.
I'm gonna have to go with Martin. I gotta go top to bottom, Martin. You know what I mean? For the simple fact that you got the characters, you got the length, the longevity, you got the relationship dynamic, you got his homies with him. He's a professional black man, you know, DC disc jockey. What was? He has so many different dynamics that I can relate to. A lot of other joints, maybe good. With Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince is my second one. But Martin.
I'm gonna go with Martin too. Martin, I feel like it was genuine. It was a genuine connection. All the whole storyline is real. Martin, Fresh Prince, then I say Cosby. Cosby show like with a real black family.
They just did.
They had two Bill Cosby shows. One was the 80s and the other one the 90s.
80s was the hit.
I'm gonna throw in the 80s. Oh yeah.
Okay, listen, I love Martin. Don't get me wrong. Martin is hilarious. There's great lessons in there. Love when a baby come out, he catch it, all that. But I'm sorry, A Different World was a different world. Whitney, I love you. Come on, bro. That was a black man in the 90s putting on, bro. A Different World. And I love it living single. I'm sorry. I love living single too. But different world. I'm gonna put Martin up first for real. But outside of comedy and stuff like that, like if you wanted to do something substantial for real, you need to put A Different World on that list. I don't care what you say.
For me, a lot of people won't say this, but Family Matters changed my life. Like it's the first show. Like for real, Family Matters is not about Urkel. That show is about self-love and respect. Urkel is going after Laura the entire time. But as soon as he turned into Stefan, he's a whole different person. And I believe if a lot more people go back and watch, because I had to watch it again, because when you're younger and you watch something, when you get older, it changed my whole perspective. For me, a lot of people are struggling with, they're not loving themselves. But as soon as they change themselves, guess who love you then? As soon as you get the money, as soon as you look fly, now the Lauras love you. But when you nerdy, quirky, what's really good for you in the inside, they ain't got no love for you. As soon as he put on the fly gear, she was loving him. But she didn't love him for who he was deep down inside. What you need is somebody to love you for who you are. That's one of my poems. Better go cop that.
You know,
like I said, my poem.
How about we just establish that our shows back in the day was television at its peak. It's been at its peak. We had so many different ranges of television shows in terms of topics covered. Our shows was the best, 90s, clearly. Debate me.
You said 90s is the best.
Yeah.
Hands down. Hands down. No, it's the best ever. Hands down. It's not even a big deal.
All right, you want to wrap that up there? Yeah?
4, 3, 2, 1. All right, yo. So we definitely had like an interesting round, but the next question for the floor is real general. Well, these two guys right here are married. He's just talking outside the scene. But what's the dating scene like? What does it look like in 2025?
Wait, what? What is that?
What's the dating scene look like in 2025?
Oh, it sucks. I mean, shoot, that's so simple as that. You talk to a girl, she just skates. That's it. It's corny. Right there.
Right? Yeah. Oh, all right. All right. Got you. Take it easy, right?
Yeah, just to reiterate, what does the dating scene look like in 2025?
Oh man, this the question right now. Yeah, it's trash. It's trash. There's nothing else to talk about.
Ain't no dating
You a
scene.
positive?
No.
Bring that positive.
No, it's no positive in there. That's it. I ain't got nothing to talk about, brother. It's trash. It's like, no, all jokes aside though, you know, it's trash. It's trash. The facts is trash. You can, no, I'm being dead real.
Well, why would you say that it's trash? You know me, I'm always optimistic.
No, it's cool. I don't like that question, though. But I'm super real when it comes to this relationship stuff. But it's trash, and the reason it's trash is because we people. I'm not putting this in no gender, no race, no. You know what I'm saying? It's just people lack communication skills. They lack empathy. They lack a whole lot. I can't think about it right now, but just those two alone, communication and empathy. If we share that, we'll be a whole lot better as far as understanding. That's where another communication come in at. When we can't communicate, we start to push away because we see things as a problem, and all that do is push the other person away. And not to say that these people haven't been together for a long time, but we're talking about dating. We're not dating for 5 years. That's, you know what I'm saying. That's not how dating go. So when we use the term dating, I'm thinking somebody that probably just met. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that really don't know each other, and they have to work together to be in a relationship. We just went over the topic for social media. It's trash. It's trash because we see things on social media that we want to have, that we think we should have, that we think the person should treat us this way or whatever, and it's not that. So that's not just social media alone, expectations, but also parenting, the way you was brought up, how did you see love, what did love look like to you? Back in the day, we suddenly had like how many? I'm not saying not to say how many. What was the statistics on two-parent households back in the day?
Back in the day, it's like 90%.
No, it was higher. It was higher back in the day, I believe, than it is now. And the reason I say that is because when Beyonce come out with that song, "Who Run the World," girls. Yeah, but even before that. It was taking a daggone turn where women was becoming this macho alpha kind of thing. When it's Mother's Day, they'd be like, all right, I ain't gonna get too deep with this because it was about dating, right? That's what we're gonna keep it at. But when it was Mother's Day, they'd be like, oh, happy Mother's Day. Like, you the mom and the dad type shit. We don't get no happy Mother's Day on Father's Day. I'm sorry. We don't get no happy Father's Day on Mother's Day. I said that backwards. And you get the same joint you've been getting where the babies came out of it, and it's all different now. But that's different. But we just don't get the same thing. So and what happens is, right, it gives them a whole nother superpower that was what's the word I'm looking for? Systematically created.
That's good.
Well, yeah, all right. So you got.
So now instead of dating a woman,
good points.
You dating a whole other human.
No. Okay, Lou. No, but the thing is, like, I definitely believe in balance, and everything that you said was true. But hinting what you said earlier, I got another question, like basically on you, like because you got that knowledge. So the thing is, do you think that people are married now because of love, or because of finance, or like status?
No, I think they marrying now for safety. It's a straight safety thing. I'm not saying everybody. I wouldn't marry for safety now. I don't need it. But other people might, whether that's male or female. So it's a safety thing. People are fucking scared, man. They're scared. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. They don't know how to make no money. They're losing jobs. The economy is going crazy. Everything is up. They're like, yo, who can help me? They're not married. Hold on, I got to cook for a second. They're not marrying for love. They're marrying for help. And that be the discrepancy on why it doesn't last. Because instead of marrying somebody for love, you marry for love, then when they can't help you the way that you want them to help, or the way that you thought they would based off of what you perceive, then it's a problem. Now we gotta get a divorce. You dig what I'm saying? Yo. Yeah. That was it, though. So that makes the whole dating scene. If I one second, my bad. That just makes the whole dating scene trash. That's it.
Well, what I would say is this: I think it's a challenge. There's no question about it. I think you gotta be flexible in terms of and be patient, because I think. I don't know. Y'all familiar with that show that's online, a Pop the Balloon situation? Y'all seen this?
Yeah, that show's a real dating scene.
Now, that's a mess. That show is a mess, right?
It's a straight mess.
It's exposing a lot of the superficialness that's in society, right? You gotta learn how to teach and lead women nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because they so misguided. Like you said, the social media. And they more visual than us sometimes, especially when it comes to material. Oh, he can get me this or he can get me that, right? So you got to take a woman and almost mold her, even though she might think she grown, she's really not there.
Mentally,
you know mentally she's not there.
You know what
so
I'm saying?
I think it can be a challenge, but you gotta
want to do that.
You gotta want to do that. Yeah. So that's the patience with her. We got to do a lot of self-improvement within ourselves. I put myself in there with whoever. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're gonna be leaders, we gotta lead ourselves first, and then they gotta want to be led. So that's the other piece. So we need women in here too to understand.
No, but nowadays, on real rap is you're gonna find about this much percentage of women that truly want to be led and will allow it, even if you do it properly. They will allow. But hold on, I got a question for Alex though. Alex, you said we gotta be patient. When is patience enough? When is because we older now, right? We past our 30s, right? Hold on, that's you. I'm talking to Alex. So we past our 30s. So how much time do we want to waste on being patient?
80 years.
Well, bull.
That's a good listen. That's a good question. It depends on the woman, right? If you got a woman who got some of what you're looking for, you would grant her a little bit more grace, a little bit more patience than one where right from the door you're like, nah, I'm good. The red flag is up, I'm good.
I gotta say, nah. The one that might not what you looking for at the door, that might not be the one. So you being patient with somebody that you could be wrong with, and then you being short-tempered with somebody that you could be wrong about.
At the end of the day, we know love's a risk, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a give and take.
It's a give and take. It's a gamble.
Maybe more of a smart gamble though, because Nico, I think you agree with me. There's risk in a lot of things that you do, but you do smarter risk than there's smarter risk than dumb risk. Yeah, calculate. That's how I say it. Calculated risk. So my thing is, and I was gonna say, wait, you got daughters, right? So you got daughters, or anybody got daughters here? So I'm gonna go even deeper, like what he said. How can I lead this woman where? And I know the fight banks is answer question I'm about to say. How can I lead this woman? How can I lead your daughter or somebody dates your daughter when me and her get a tit for tat? Or I'm trying to teach her something that's, oh, well, guess what? My daddy wouldn't say that. I'm going to go back to my daddy. Oh, my daddy's a big-time director. You don't got money like him. My daddy won't let me do this. How can I lead this girl when she's always going back to y'all? Now, I understand your daughter is like a princess. But if that's what I'm going with, and I know that's why I want to get y'all, especially y'all team. But, and I already go, like I said, as a guy who's 31, I never really tell nobody what I do. But as soon as they find out I'm a professional actor, they see the little blue check mark and everything, that all switches up. But when they see Andrew himself, the way I look bummy usually, it's always, oh, well, my daddy wouldn't do this. Oh, my daddy wouldn't let you do this. Oh, my dad does this. Oh, well, guess what? My daddy pays all the bills for me. Oh, date your fucking dad, then. What the hell they got to do with me?
At the end of the day, that's a tough job because...
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear what the answers are. What's the answer?
No, so the fight back is, if I fight myself back is, well, Drew, you got to understand, I'm not going to just let my daughter date anybody. I know the man who I was. I'm not going to just let my daughter just date a Philly nigga, because you know how some... Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some Philly niggas do, which is, yo, what's up? If you're a real girl, you'll help me out and buy me this Hellcat real quick. I mean, if you're a real one, oh, you will give me this $800. That's what I said. I know the fight back against it, but I'm just saying at the same time, for an average guy, I get it. Nico, you did your thing, you made your kids, you got, you're great in the army, you got your investment, so you'll do anything for your daughter. But now,
I don't fully believe in that sentiment, though. Like I'm not. I see the fact
just
that.
you, I'm just saying-
Yeah, I know. We just talking general. Whatever. So I feel the generalization, but I feel like that's not every dad. You know what I'm saying? Like I want my daughter to always do X, Y, Z, whatever, but like I want you to know, like I was just saying there, like the realistic of life. Like I ain't gonna be able to be there to walk your hand with you every single day with you, and nor do I feel like I should have to. I feel like that's my job to teach you to do all that stuff. You want to come to me X, Y, Z, whatever, but. Again, like you can't save everybody, and everybody don't deserve to be saved. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let your kids fall. You gotta let yourself fall. People gotta let people fall, especially your kids. So, you know, my daughter, she 18, whatever, she can cry me, coming about me. X, Y, Z, I'm always gonna be there for my daughter, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm not always gonna be like, well, what did you do? And X, Y, Z. Like, I'm gonna just, listen to what I gotta do, whatever. But it's not always like, I'm here for you in place of a man. Like, no, my responsibility is to, like, I'm a man. My wife was given to me from her father. So my ability one day to, okay, Father, you meeting X, Y, Z, here you go, John, this is my daughter, you take her hand in marriage and you take care of her. It's your responsibility now. She gets married, what's the difference? Like, you get married, I don't want to hear how you calling me, talking about something, but you can, but again, like, what other than the advice and wisdom should I be giving you? You gotta live your own life.
Facts, but we're the last generation that thinks like that.
I feel you though, Nico. I'm about to say, I don't care how old my children get. I got a daughter, I got one daughter, several boys, right? I don't care how old my daughter gets. She can call me, she can tell me, she can vent to me, she can cry to me, and she can love me more and more every day, more than she loves her husband, her boyfriend, her ex-husband, her ex-boyfriend. It don't matter. That's my daughter, and I'm gonna do everything and anything for my only daughter. I don't care what the situation is, but that's just me.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm gonna cut her check. It doesn't matter. She's taking care of it.
Yeah, I think you should. You just were preparing them. That's all. Like I want to do that. And
I'm not preparing. I'm taking
I think
care
this
of
is
her
where.
whole fucking life.
That's why
It don't matter.
At the end of the day, I always want to see that consciousness in the back of my daughter's mind.
I was about to say that. I was just about to say that.
Like she hear her daddy's voice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, Drew,
if that happens, I did my job. Because I know that around forever.
No.
It's not a bad joke. It's not a bad joke. Somebody like, oh, my daddy wanted. Yo, that's a woman that had a father figure. That I'm not saying they all. Everybody has a father figure. Know how to treat a man, but listen, she has a foundation, and guess what you can do with that foundation? Go talk to that foundation.
But that's what I'm saying. Even me though, and I had, like I said, I dealt with fathers like you before and stuff. Like I said, it's not an issue with, but at some point. When do I get my woman? Because you're, like I said, you're in my way now. I get it. It sounds, I know how it sounds coming off as toxic, but at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to it. Like, hold on, like my dad in this foundation, I would do anything for my daughter. This, that, third. I'm like, all right, my God, I understand it, but she's mine, man. Like I'm trying to take care of her. I'm trying to build something with her, and it's always comes. And then when her daughter starts to hear, hey, well, my grandfather said I could go to him anytime. Now it's becoming an issue.
Look though, she's not yours. No, time out. My bad, time out.
I said, bring on that daughter, so that's what I said. That's the problem.
She's not yours, bro. That's the problem. The problem is she's not yours. She will never be yours. Okay? Understand that. One, they always gonna choose. She's gonna choose whether to love you more than her father or less than her father. That's just it. How you win that battle is going to talk to the source. That's it. You got the upper hand, bro. She's telling you, my dad. That's your teacher.
Oh, no,
that's where you go. And you holler at that. Let him take you out to dinner. Let's go around the drink, Dad. Oh, and then you ask your dad, yo, when so-and-so did this, how did you handle it?
That's one thing I always did. Real quick. One thing I always did with a woman that had a strong father, I always did make the bond with their father.
Yes, I respect that.
I always did. Go ahead.
I got you, brother. The bigger the bond is with the dad,
you see, it's those days.
The less disrespect you
All right,
But you need that. And I'm going to tell you why, right? So a few things. A leader knows the way, shows the way, and go the way himself. You have to be that man. So if I have a daughter, if you're not him, like, nah, baby, he ain't him. And if you can't live up to it, that's okay, because every man is not the same. Like, people who say that we're the same or we're created equal, we're not. You might have one talent, he might have 2 talents, he might have 5 talents, and that's according to their ability. So if I'm a man of God, right, because I center everything around God, so I raise my daughter a certain way, And whoever she deal with, he gotta be able to replace me. You see what I'm saying? It ain't that she's my daughter, but you gotta be him. If you're not him, it is okay. It ain't even nothing personal. You just don't meet the mark. And then that's how you should look at it. Like, look, I just can't meet that mark of that man. Because you're gonna have big shoes to fill. Like, you're gonna have to carry that responsibility. So now you gotta know who the man is. Who is the father? Like, what has he done? What's his story? And do you gel with it? Because the flip side to that is like, listen,
they don't know about the man.
Well, if you do you bond with him? Because there's certain experiences that I may have that you never experienced, you never seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my daughter might have a certain sense of security, meaning like, I'll run through this wall, bro. Like, legit, I'm not lying. Or I have that mentality. Like, that's my daughter. No, I'm serious. Like, so if she don't feel safe like that with you, nah, baby, he ain't that. He a good dude. I support you, but he ain't the one for my daughter, and that's it. So it's not like the pop is in the way. It's more so like, who am I?
No,
he's rushing at the one.
When we start dating,
if he can arrange a time to sit down and talk to you, look you in your eyes, and talk to you like a man.
I agree with that.
Definitely.
I don't agree.
I can't feel it, you know what I mean?
So if you saying after, so you saying like after.
So going back to the main question before, he said, "How is dating is today?" And you say how the females act. And now that in our generation, the fathers are in the lives, which I understand. I get that. So in a way, it's nuanced. But it gets to a point now where daddies are too much in a woman's life. And I'm not saying as protection wise. I've been dating your daughter for, let's say, about a whole year now. I like her, she like me. I got somebody like Troy that's always calling like, oh yeah, he's trying to fix the faucet right now, but daddy, I know you can do it better. Daddy, yeah, we going a little hard time. It's like, yo, like chill, like I'm trying.
So that's
I'm gonna come over and sound like you, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. Huh? Right. Sound like this has been a traumatic experience for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you how to been like 18, 19, 20. When I was broke at the time, yeah, it was hard because it was like you was all getting compared for 5 to get there. Go ahead. You say my dating though.
I didn't even get the cook yet. I would just say, you know,
we gonna wrap this up.
I'm still talking about dating, right?
Yeah.
I say this era of dating is just, it's not too much a trend. It's just all easy nowadays. You know, like,
What you mean by easy?
Like, you just like to pop a balloon.
Well, you be tricking them? He said it was easy.
You can pop a balloon and you got a date or something like that. Back in the day, you had to write a letter. You had to really put like time and shit. Yeah. You had to put some time in the girl you want. Nowadays, I go outside and do what's up. And that's it.
Nico, you cooking? Go ahead, you first. No, let me say it. So my man over here, he know, that's my man. So, but I want to say this, and this is hard, because he kind of saying it in the street way. I'm going to say it more. He about to say true. Meek Mill is right. When he said there's levels and it hurt my feelings, listen. You gotta listen to that Levels by Meek Mill's song. And I hated him for it because I'm like, he is right. There is levels to certain women. And he's talking about, because there's levels financially, and then there's something called, and I love this for the regular folk, something called standard levels. And when you meet a woman of standard, you can tell when she got a father. I don't care. Any nigga, no, I'm so sorry. Any nigga will know the difference between running through women who don't have a father and one who does. And as soon as I meet a woman, I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm trying bags. I'm trying. And she say something, I'm like, she got a father. I can't cook the same. Because there's a strong man behind her, and it's in her voice, it's in her DNA. And my woman, she's Haitian. Her dad is in her life, and when I met her, I had no choice but to level up my standard. I knew as soon as I deemed her, and she hit me back, I said, oh, this ain't a regular. And when a father is in her life, what you're meeting is something called a standard and expectation. And as fathers, my daughter's about to go to the 9th grade. We put something in her. We cooking. She's not mad. It's my stepdaughter. But I have her in the lab already. I said, there's going to be men who are going to try to get something out of you the easy way. And he said something that hurt me, and I want you to take your time and I want you to go back and study about something called patience. A man of standard and a father will teach you this word called patience. Anything that's worthy of time, it has to have a certain time. There's difference between warm-up chicken nuggets and when you actually bake a chicken. It ain't the same. Anything that takes time is worthy. Anything that's too fast, I would be scared. A girl that says, yo, you can have me today and not work for it, something ain't wrong. If it's too easy to get it, be careful. So what you're running into is a father who's instilling values, and sometimes it's the first man that they meet. And so yes, you're going up against a father, but there's some things, like you said, he says you're not him, I would say standards and expectation. Don't worry. If you put the time in, and if you're worthy, and if she's worthy to put the time in, it will match.
So how come every time I go to DR, I fall in love fast and I'm happy?
That's because it's doing
Wait, what?
I'm messing with you. I'm messing. You know it ain't no all y'all been to DR. Y'all was happy for a minute. My wife, I had to sit. None of these guys been to DR. They love everybody.
Well, my wife, it was the first time I had to sit down with a father.
I got this question for the group, right? How many of y'all dated outside, like, black American women? Still black, but like different Haitian, like you said, Haitian, Trini, whatever. All right, my lady Ethiopian, right? Do you guys see the difference between dating black American women compared to black? Like when we talk about dating, what's the experience? Like it's on the same topic, right? But what's the difference between dating women outside the culture?
So then it goes back to my main point, and I think this is where I can only speak so much, but this is where I would say for Troy and Ambition. I get what y'all was definitely saying, but when I first finally started dating outside of America, it felt more like, I understand she had her daddy in her life, but it was more submissive. It was more like, hey, yo, babe, how about let's do this? And she was always like, okay, we can do this, but how about let me add on to this? Let me try to do this. It was always like a good support system. It didn't feel like, hey, be submissive. It felt like, okay, I got you. That's how it was different. But with Americans, especially American black women, it's always like, well, my daddy still values me. She said not to do this. My daddy said, oh, if I don't want to do this, we don't got to do this. I don't have to compromise with shit. It's like, that's the difference between American black women and Ethiopia. And I'm just saying, do you? And I don't know, since your girl's Ethiopian, do you understand what I'm saying? That like, it's not disrespectful submissiveness. It's like, okay, you want to do this? Well, I'm not really into this, but how about if we do this? How about can we do this next time? That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a cultural thing. We're talking about two different types of culture. So even I would say for anybody that's growing up from like whenever they start dating till about their 20 to 26 maybe, if they haven't dated outside their race, I would say probably around like 26, 28 would probably be a good time to start dating. And I only say that because it gives us the time to really figure out who we are and what we want. If we just jump outside our race, then that's just where we're going to be at. But if we deal with our race, try to figure it out, learn and see, then we good. But if it doesn't happen about 28, I do think we should start dating outside our race.
It's a different discipline.
Because it's a different discipline.
All right. So we just got to wrap that up for the sake of time. Damn. No, but we're going to talk about your topic. We're going to talk about your topic, yo.
Okay.
All right, get those hands. So let me ask y'all this. Do you all think that law enforcement in Philly is, well, I can just say in general, do you think that law enforcement is improving, or do you still have to make changes, or what do you think has been going on? Because all that stuff with Chamber Martin, all that stuff was cool, but right outside these streets right here, that type of stuff is still going on. So what's good? What's going on with that? How do y'all feel?
Our race will never see the right. We will never get the right. I want to say we would never succeed with the law. I feel like
you think he's still 3/5 of a person, or you think
I just
Constitution? You know we run stuff, but we don't run stuff. So
I just
that's
feel
why
like
we here, so we start running stuff.
I just feel like our race we, and when it come to court, we lose. We lose a lot. And
is that because of lawyers, or why?
Could be lawyers, could be officers. Like It's overall thing.
Yeah, I mean, my answer kind of goes to like the question you had earlier where I was talking about the tools with the, the hair clippers and everything. Like, I'm kind of on the 50-50 with that because, I have friends that are cops. I have family members that are cops. Like, I have family members that are CEOs. I have, lifetime long friends. Like, my best friend from, like, elementary school is a cop. So it's like, it's a battle between like a line, and I feel like that very thin line that's in the world between police and not being police is like it's so thin that, but you gotta really trail and trample on that line because it just takes a little overstep for it to make a whole bunch of pollution and a mess. And then also on the same side, it takes one or two bad officers don't make the whole bunch bad. And I know it's hard to have the perception of not having them all look bad, but everything ain't all bad and everything ain't all good. Like, that's why I like yin and yang. Like, somebody can be good and bad, and somebody can be bad and good. We all do good, we all do bad. So, police at the end of the day, they regular people. They, some of them are corrupt as hell. They gotta be under the trash. They should be the ones that go to jail. Some of them are, I know cops never pulled guns on, and they 30 years of using the force or whatever the case is. I work at a bank. We have officers come in, all the time and work on our stuff, and I feel safer with them. And they black cops, sometimes it's white cops, whatever the case is. But I feel like the main thing that we need to go back to, regardless of whatever time frame you're talking about, is community policing, where cops are knowing, okay, I just took Nico son, whatever case, whatever, but I know Nico from the block. I know he up here. I know which one called out a bad kid. I know what school he in. Like, us knowing and getting more integrated versus it being more separated. The more separate we go, the harder it's going to be. And if we want to get to any type of resolution, whatever that is, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Malcolm X type stuff, we all got to shake hands. And even in war, you got to shake hands. Enemies can be enemies, but you can have respect. You can have, boundaries, Geneva Convention, you can have lines, that's all it is. The world ain't nothing but boundaries and walls to keep us from all doing crazy stuff to each other. That's all it is for.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I think as men, we got to know how to navigate society, right? Yeah. So we got to navigate relationships on the job, we got to navigate relationships amongst each other, and we got to navigate relationships with police officers. Yeah. So when they stop us, like, I see a lot of young brothers or even sisters, man, when the cops stop, yo, what the fuck you stop me for? Like, that elevates their anxiety. You understand? Look, I got family members that are cops, no question about it. I know some cops who mentor me coming up. Are there some dirty cops out there? Absolutely. I've been involved in stops where the cops have roughed me up. I had a cop stop me one time at lunch, looking at me like, give me a reason. I'm saying, I'm a young boy. I'm looking at him like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? But I've had decent communication with cops when they stop me and you just, what's going on, officer? What you need? You have all your stuff, your documents ready. Boom, there you go. Boom. We got to teach our youth to handle themselves professionally in that exchange. Because if you give them professionalism, most times they're going to give you that back. Now, is there some racist ones? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I know other people got other experiences. Now, if you want to sit out here and protest police brutality, yeah, I'll be out there with you too. Because I know it's some piece of shit cops out there. But I'm still going to present the other side because I want to give 360 degrees of knowledge on the whole situation. I don't just want to be one side and say, fuck cops. Because at the end of the day, who's going to show up if somebody break your crib? It's going to be a cop. Don't get me wrong. I got artillery. Police. Now, I handle something with some artillery. I'm still might get locked up.
That's cool and all, but where's our apology at?
Yeah, exactly. Big time.
Hold on, I like PF. I love PF got poems that talk about but first, no disrespect to Philadelphia. No disrespect to Philadelphia and all these police, but where's our apology at for the Rizzo years? Right. First of all, don't even. My thing, see, this is the thing I don't like about government that forgets what happened to us. Go through, listen, I didn't even notice. My mom told me what happened through the Rizzo years in Philadelphia. How they was beating people. Bro, they was beating people up. They was making people do confessions. It was, listen, the Rizzo years in Philadelphia was so horrific. that people are still scared of the cops because of what they was doing back then. And then, with all respect, statistically, we still being pulled over more than any other race. That's true. Statistically, we're still locked up more than any other race, not being represented. Where's our apology? So no disrespect when we say we love the black cops. Statistically, it's still being proven that we are racially still being sought after and not being treated equally. So until I get my apology, I just don't know what to say to them. Then they come to your car.
And bitch, let me ask you a question. Somebody breaking your house, what you doing?
I have no choice.
What you doing? Somebody breaking your crib? Hold on. I'm asking Ambition. Ambition. Hold on. What you doing if somebody breaking your crib?
I have no choice.
Do you need an apology to call the police?
With all respect,
hold on, answer the question.
But I'm just,
do you need an apology?
I call
if somebody breaking the crib for you to call the police?
I call the police.
And that's the separation right there.
Because if I call them,
we all like F the police.
If I call them,
and they broke into
you see what I'm saying?
But they still killed me by accident.
But he still gonna call him though. But you know what? He want an apology.
You know what you're saying?
It don't make sense.
You going deep,
we are traumatizing ourselves. Hold on, time out. I'm not saying I didn't say nothing about protecting yourself. I'm talking about traumatizing yourself. Rizzo years. What year was that? Tell me what year. Hold on, Luke. What year are you talking about?
70, 80?
78. Well, how old were you?
No, I wasn't alive.
Why are you associating yourself with happened back then? Why time out. Look, hold on. That's a cause and effect.
Wait.
Time out. Hold on.
During the riots, they still was disrespecting people.
Listen to me. Why are you associating yourself with that? That's the disconnect. You are connecting yourself with trauma that you. If it didn't happen to you, I'm not saying.
I'm a black man.
I'm not saying if it don't happen to you,
where we're still being racist.
If it don't happen to you, I'm not saying it shouldn't affect you. However, it shouldn't control you.
It do affect me. Wait, let me give you an example.
You just now said out your mouth that if something happened to you, you calling people that you want an apology from. Is that not fake or phony? Is that not fake or phony? Is that not fake or phony? Let's be real. Is that not fake or phony? Hold on, time out. Somebody do something to you on the street, Ambition. Hold on.
Then they want to say that.
Somebody, Ambition. Somebody do something to you on the street. They don't give you an apology. You gonna call that person and say, yo, man, I know who just stole your car. I watched them do it.
No,
you're not.
I watched y'all sit. Excuse me. I watched y'all sit here and try to balance between should I not say something bad about cops when I called, they robbed my car. I'm at Second and Island. I live here now. I was at Second. Oh, excuse me. I was at Second and Island when them YNs they stole my car. Second and Island. This happened a year ago. I called the cops. I'll just tell you the truth. This is real lived experience. I hate when people talk theory. I'm talking real experience.
Real facts.
I called the cops. Bro, they robbed me. I called the cops and said, yo, they stole the kid. The kid boys got it. Can you help me? You know what they told me? They said, yo, you gotta go down to the police precinct and file a report. I said, no. I actually have the tracker right now. They right there on 7th Street. Come help me. He says, no, we can't help you until you put a report. I said, I can't do that. I got in the car and got my kid back. I could have died. Now, had I killed the boy who stole my car, they would have locked me up. When I called the next day, I said, yo, they robbed my car. Can the police help me out? They're not coming. They will never come. And had I killed that boy or had I died, oh well, why was he chasing somebody? Why did he leave his car unlocked? So with all respect,
because the original question was the state of law enforcement at the present time right now. You went a little deep, right to the second. And I get that part because from a clinical standpoint, which is my background in the sense, you got to talk about the antecedents, right? The antecedents of why the behavior is and why the relationship is the way it is. How do we get there? We got there because of even before the Rizzo years. I researched the Rizzo years. You're right. They would have people stripping them naked in the streets. You understand? It's horrific. It's trauma. But how do we heal from that? How do we heal from that? So on the flip side, I hear this side because how do we heal from that? Do we keep opening up old wounds, tearing off the old wounds? All right? Or do we heal and start to move forward? Now, if the shit keeps happening,
you think we're going to really heal from it?
No.
It's never going to be. With all respect, the relationship with police will never be
I get it, but
he
this-
is correct.
But
Like,
now
you
you're
just-
talking about you got to go back to the African explorer. Now, if you go all the way back, they still healing, and they trying to heal. We're trying to rebuild Africa. So we're gonna go deeper.
Just
Let us go there.
No, but I'm just saying.
But what happens
Just
when we
talking
had
about
this
police.
mentality, ambitious, what happens when we had this mentality about what happened 30, 40, 50 years ago? All we gonna do is teach our kids the same exact thing. No. I'm just saying. Oh, F the police, if something happens,
No, it's happening right now. They was fighting over it in West Philly, and the guy gun goes off. Yo, they was fighting. The kids was fighting.
Because somebody just, we talking about George Floyd, somebody just died in our city and nothing happened. Why are you talking about George Floyd?
Because George Floyd is a problem with everybody.
More than 6 feet more. When all the Muslims was out there, the cops was pushing them up.
No, because I was actually there.
Nobody did nothing.
No, those kids were doing some bad stuff. You can't have it both ways. But young white kids shouldn't be fighting people and breaking their stuff. I was there. I was with the police. I was there. That's what I'm saying. They didn't get that story right. I was there.
I wouldn't do it. Hot shower
Real life example that too, bro. I'm not even like I have no faith. No,
but why he had to get killed? Why y'all had a cop that worked with mental health?
Because if we go back to social media, all this stuff is connected. If you go back to social media, look at how our youth are using social media. Do drills on each other. It's creating that culture of like they don't give a fuck about life. So now, when one of our youth died, that was for the people
In our city.
nobody really give a fuck.
In our city. Nobody got nothing to say. Everybody, oh, he was a loving young boy. Oh, he
got
did
get killed by the cops.
Exactly. And that's the trauma that I want to break from the American people. That was it. The trauma, bro.
Bro, police can't speak on what we do.
You missed the whole
They
conversation.
have no authority. Hold on, I'm just saying for
I'm
facts.
about to say this with that last topic they used to say.
Because a black man.
No, that guy, the rap. Y'all talking about that rapper?
Yeah, LGBT.
Yeah, LGBT somebody.
LGBT quad.
Here's the problem they were saying. If a cop would have shot him, everybody be up in arms. But since one of our own shot him, now everybody's like, damn, bro, that's good.
Are y'all trying to? This is what I hate about this argument.
That's hypocrite.
Bro,
That is literally being hypocrite.
you really comparing black. You comparing
Yes.
the vibes of our
Humans are
neighborhood
humans
to the
at the
way
end of the day.
police have been doing whatever they've been doing since the founding of this country.
No. Like Troy said, we wasn't born then. Now, I do never say forget history. I would never say that. But at some point, you do have to move on from it a little bit.
Move on?
Yes. No. Once again, I'm gonna say this really clearly.
Bitches, if you don't move on from it, you're going to be stagnant.
When
I'm
right
there.
I ain't going nowhere.
I'm going to keep the government accountable for being racist, for being no disrespect. Statistically proven.
Let me say it one time.
Statistically proven.
No.
that's what he said.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I mean by move on. We move on from it as in always keep it in history books. Always teach our sons, our daughters, other races about what happened. But at some point, I can't be like, I'm just going to use Nico as an example. Oh, bro, I'm not talking to you because you white, this, that, and the third. You don't understand what I've been through. Instead, I'm not. Once again, I'm using it as an example. Yes, I'm using it as an example. At the end of the day, at some point we do have to move on and start coming together. At some point, we gotta find a way to what can we do? What can we do better? At some point, you walking out here. That's the issue. These talks. For real, to be honest with you, we should be having some cops in here. I don't tell everybody. I am a federal agent.
But for what?
But
you got the right one.
I am a federal
cop in here for what?
And that's what I'm saying. To talk with
When they feel like a white man, for what? If they're black and got the idea set of a white man,
and
what?
that's the problem. See, if I was white,
So he don't have to be here.
Okay.
That cop ain't got to be here. And a lot of us, we talk that black stuff, but we ain't helping one another. When we see each other,
we're on the same side here.
Not you. I'm saying collectively speaking. We see each other and it's negative as soon as we see each other. Correct?
Yeah, because
Black man.
hostility, just like war.
Even in business.
Yeah.
Anything. We rather go get the food from them and everything from them.
I'm cool with
education system, everything is from them.
Listen, this ain't our country. You gotta kind of let it move sometimes. I think that's what people forget. This ain't
Have them in here, holding their hand and all that.
I think we should have them black. I think we should have them in here because they mind. Some of them minds can be changed. You gotta think they know.
Are you crazy?
That's right. That's what I'm saying. I do think it's possible.
Hold on. Can you get this? Do you know when you keep repeating the same thing over and over and over, you know that's the definition of insanity?
Yes.
Why do you keep trying to change some people that don't want to be changed?
I don't think it's about changing people. I think about some of them don't literally hear this at all. Like some of these white cops, like, and some of them, I don't think, some of them not hearing it. I'm telling you.
No, they've been on the planet for 6,000 years.
And that's how dumb they ass is. They still not hearing it.
That's not right, man.
Because anywhere they go, but they kill and murder. If they find people on Mars, they kill people on Mars, bro. That's what they do.
No, stop it. They're not. I'm just saying, they're not your friend.
Thank you. You heard it.
But they're not my enemy either. I'm always thinking beats.
Collectively speaking, the majority of them are.
That's not the I say that.
But you want to
Do everybody go to the cookout?
Yo, you got a few that's the underground world. It always been like that.
Yeah.
But the majority of them are not on our team, bro. And the minute y'all start understanding that, we'll get somewhere. Stop worrying about everybody else and being their friend and worry about yourself.
The only way to combat that, the way that I'm talking, is going back to Black Panthers from the Wild Wild West. We're not going to.
They're not made to understand us and respect us. That's their nature. We're not the same.
That's what I'm saying. We are.
We are not. They'll tell you that. And every time you try to put and play with them, it's like moving 12 years of slavery. As soon as you start trusting them, you're going to wind up just like the old line.
And another thing is, they talk about, what was the thing?
We disagree on that, though, but
I got history as a proof, and I got the president as the witness.
There's laws and there's war all the time. Not everybody somebody
you keep doing that, trying to hang with
somebody had to die.
I didn't say just hang on, but we are going to sit down and talk, have mutual respect for each other.
Man, we got
Bro, that's not how it works.
Stop it. I would disagree.
You been through that training.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Mutual. That's a problem word in this world.
How do
Mutual.
31.
Yeah.
As equal as
you wasn't even here.
No, we just come from two different generations, which I definitely I respect it. But at the same time, you gotta respect my generation just as much as I respect you.
I'm just like I know what ain't.
And hold on, you think I don't have been tested either? Because you just disrespected me. I
ain't disrespecting.
I'm gonna say this, and from my personal opinion, I'm gonna say from my personal opinion. I'm about to tell you right now. What you just said disrespectful to me. This is how actually I'll change it up. Let me change my phrase up real quick. What I took as just disrespect. You just said, "Oh, you're a young boy." I'm 31. I'm a grown man.
That's just what you are. You are young.
Yeah,
so
no.
I say,
No. Young boy.
That's slang. That's slang.
Whoa. Wait. Pause.
You a YN.
That's slang. Yo, that's slang. I can easily replace that saying, "My bad, you're a young man." But young boy was a derogatory.
Hold on.
Was derogatory.
See, my man. Look, see. Yeah, I'm trying to come. This is what I'm saying.
But was derogatory. So I'm saying, I'll replace that with, "You're a young man." Here we go.
So once again,
now, let's go.
So now, this is where we get to it. I'm telling you as a man, I took that disrespectfully. What you just did say, "Oh, guess what? You just 31 years old, you young man." No, I'm telling you, I'm a grown man. No. Wait, hold on.
I said you're a young
I'm not taking this as, no, I'm trying to tell you right now.
70s and 80s. It's in context.
Okay, so this is where it goes back to again. That's your generation. Cool, I respect that. But what I've been through, my generation, my personal casualties, what I've been training for, with my personal development, I'm telling you as a grown man, one, I felt that was disrespectful. Two, I've been through things where I can compete and at least talk to you. Now, you got history that I'm not going to understand, but I can look at. But what I expect from you, the same as a man, is to look at my history and ask me what I've been through and to respect that.
I said you was a young man or a young boy in the context of what you didn't say.
I get you, and I'm telling you personally.
Disrespect.
No, hold on.
Thank you, my man. Right? No. It was in context.
That's fine. Look, that's fine for them. If they believe, that's fine. I'm telling you, though. I'm saying Their context I don't like. That's why I'm
That's
saying.
what we be talking about at our age, where y'all a little sensitive.
See, and no, I'm not sensitive. See, that's what I'm talking about again.
I said what we say. I didn't say you are.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know I ain't wrong. I said you're a young man. You got context.
Hold on, guys.
Do y'all know what a generational curse is?
I know exactly.
Can each person or whoever want to speak just like
We was talking about finances. You on that one, but go ahead.
because part of everything, that first question, like from the police to this, is all a part of generational curse. You know what I mean? Like when you understand the foundation of policing, it has been to police slaves. It was never about protection. It was about slaves. That nigga got away. Go get it. You know what I mean? So you can't separate the foundation or the root of a thing from the head, from the end of the thing. So you got heard of KRS-One?
Yeah.
He said 30 years ago there'd be no black cop. Like KRS-One was spitting game back then.
So it was
and it was
about with the judge.
Exactly.
And it took me to get grown to really hear it.
Exactly. Listen.
He said the judge would be the ship's captain. I was like,
trust it.
And watch this. This is
can't trust it, right?
Yes. I can only guess what's happened. You're supposed to be ship's
It took
captain.
him years to catch that knowledge, but the years that it took to catch that knowledge is a dispensation of time that you do not have knowledge, meaning a generational curse is a dispensation of time that's you're in disobedience or you're ignorant. It's just not like, oh, my dad was drinking, so I don't drink anymore. That's just a small scale of breaking a generational curse. But overall, as a people, when you lack that knowledge, then now you're done. So it's a scripture that says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because they reject knowledge.
You know what's crazy? They never repeat the end of it. They just stop right there. And it says that God will turn on you,
And
basically,
reject you.
rejecting it. And that's what I said to you in the beginning. Do you know what keep repeating the same thing over and over and over is? Is the definition of insanity. And y'all want to keep doing the same thing.
As a black man, I had to, my mom and started talking about the Rizzo years, and then when you go further than the Rizzo, you like, hold up, in 1920, they was doing this in Philly, and then in 18,
we keep inviting them, so we got a family problem. We keep inviting them, keep hoping they change, and they're not. You got all of the years ahead of you of how it even started, and the mindset that most of them are in. A lot of us don't even deal with Caucasians, so let's even keep it real. We go to work with them, but you don't really communicate with them, and you don't really dialogue with them and ask them how they feel about us, because a lot of us can't handle what they really gonna say.
But
Me,
it's like what
I
you
talk
said.
to them about this stuff.
It's a family issue. It's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So as a family, we got to fix what's going on
First.
Then we can start.
And then,
you know what I'm saying? Because we know what angle they coming from. Oh, all right, I know that game. Because what happened, if you go back in time as far as African culture, we were too inviting. Letting the enemy in, letting them see our secrets, our civilization, like how we developed this, how we developed that, the sciences, the man. We teaching them what they do with it. Took it, twisted in a diabolical sense to dominate. We did it to cultivate, educate, build.
See, a lot of us, the problem is we don't think that they're different.
It's
That's
the
the
same
problem.
thing.
We think they the same, they not.
It's
And
not.
they'll tell you we ain't
Because their
saying.
culture is rape and village. They even do it to
I'm talking down to
us
the
themselves.
nature of their being. They're different.
That's what I'm trying to tell
everybody,
you.
and it's not even,
And that's the problem that most of us will not acknowledge.
I mean, I was disagreeing on that one. Alexander the Great, what was he? They always a great conqueror. All he did was rape and pillage his own, throughout Europe.
And now we've taken on their behavior. We want to jump out of planes. We want to rock climb. We want to wrestle alligators. We're not the same people, man.
that's why we have to be careful when we start saying that we love and we like a certain government structure, because we have to make sure our eyes are always accountable. I literally, anybody that's been here, we literally saw Boy and Gerard, when black people had this on lock, go down the drain. They let it go down the drain just to come and buy it and put up apartment buildings in your same neighborhood. So they wait and they look at you like this for 10 years, destroy your community,
Can I ask something?
destroy it,
Can I ask
and then
something?
say, yo,
Can I ask something?
it's so
Can I ask
messed up. Can we come in and buy it? Then
Listen
watch
up.
you fall, and then buy your something.
They don't watch nothing. They send it in to help you destroy what you're talking about.
No, what I'm saying is.
No. You
what I'm
say they
saying
watch.
is.
They
What I'm
send the
saying
drugs
is.
in,
No, I'm
bro.
not disagreeing
They
with you,
send all
brother.
that in.
I don't want to disagree with you on
Yeah,
this,
let's
brother.
get your root up.
Because what I'm saying is that we seen black people have property for years, and it go down the tubes. And then for them to just come in and say, we're going to make it better.
But that's the plan.
Instead of saying, while you were there, why I can't help you make it better now?
But that's the plan.
So
there's good and there's evil.
The behavior,
That's the plan.
when you say kumbaya, it's just not happening. So that's
say
why.
what you mean, kumbaya.
No, I'm talking to my man.
Oh, you gonna make me?
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is.
Don't say kumbaya, boy. I didn't say that word.
I know what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that we have to have an accountable mind. Saying that, yo, I see what's happening statistically and it's already proven.
Oh, but listen, you see with the government, right?
Yes.
The government paper said they brought the drugs in, but when people told us that in the 70s and 80s, they were that conspiracy theory.
I mean, yeah, that's already been notified. That's a fact.
I know, but that they the one orchestrated it from the gate.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
But saying token.
So you can't bring them in to help you with a problem that already existed from your start.
But this the
You
thing.
can't invite none of them in there.
This the
And
thing.
you gotta be careful, even the blacks you invite in who fool with them.
As I said, this
All right?
thing. It been our
I'ma
own
say it.
race that been going against our
Well,
own race.
no, that's a whole
It's our own race
nother. I
going
agree
against
with
our
you
race.
saying.
I've been through all that, man. I grew up in Chester, man. I know
I don't
about
know.
that hood stuff, man. And I grew up.
I mean, it gets black people
But the thing
on
about it
bills. What are you doing?
I ain't want to say it
I mean,
with
why
boys
are we
here,
bringing in?
but let's put it this way. I'm just gonna put it out there. When I got caught hustling, I saw the papers that said, "Oh, we did it." That's I'm somebody's son. I'm selling poison, and I'm part of the problem. That's why I never hustle no more, because they said we brought it in, and I said to them, they said, "You know what? Yeah, they bring it in. We locked your black A up." Is what they said. Us lock you up, they bring it in. But you got caught. Nigga. That's all I
That's the
need
same
to
thing
hear.
happened with Ross. His supplier flipped on him.
That's all I need to hear. But that's the
real Rick Ross.
The problem.
Freeway Ricky
The problem
Ross.
is, like you said, you're taking outside things and drugs that don't belong to you, and you're perpetuating to make your own money off the backs of black people. You know you never did pills. When we start doing pills?
That's white people's drugs.
That's weird.
We used to say that. Meth, all that stuff.
Meth and all these
So for the
different.
sake of time, we're gonna wrap this up. You already know I appreciate everybody for doing this. The way that we're gonna wrap it up now is family and investments. So coming together in the past, it seems like people in I give them this. People in Atlanta, Chicago, a little bit of Detroit. I want to say LA, but it's only like 3 cities in America where African American. Because I look at stats all the time. Where African Americans do have actual wealth, not fake wealth, real wealth. Rich is just you got money. Wealth is I got money for my children's children. So the question for the floor now, this is what we're gonna wrap up on. Is it possible to build generational wealth in the African American community? We know the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But how? How can we keep that momentum going? We're gonna start with.
It's going to start with knowledge first. The wealth is your knowledge. All right. So as the scripture says, I give you knowledge to gain wealth. So if you have that wealth, if you have that knowledge, now I can gain the wealth and I can teach. Right. And once I can teach, then we can take it from there. Then there's another scripture that's because the mind of the people really have to change. We have to get out of an idolatry mindset. Because America is an idolatrous country. We have the Independence Day. But the scripture is it's Acts chapter 4, verse 32 on down. It says, the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and one soul. Neither did they say the things that they possessed was their own, for they had all things in common. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was upon them all. Neither was there any amongst them that lacked. For those that were possessors of houses and land sold them, brought the prices of the things that were sold, and laid at the apostles' feet. And distribution was made to every man according to he had need. And Josie was surnamed Barnabas, being interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite, and of the country of Cyprus, having land, sold it, and brought at the apostles' feet. So that basically explains interdependency. It explains unity, just not within the family, but amongst the people. It eliminates idolatry, eliminates the institution or the programming of America. So I truly believe as we go back to God and go back to the Word of God, then we can fall in place and then we can reap the benefits. So it's another scripture that says, if my people who are called by my name, first we got to know that we're His people, we're called by His name. We need to repent, turn from our wicked ways, and He can heal us. So until we really, heal the land, until we really address that and know who we are, then of course we're going to have back and forth. We're going to deal with emotions. We're going to deal with, I feel this, or my experience, or your perspective or perception of life is different from his and hers and this. We got to go back to God, and we can do it.
Man, that's a tough act to follow, man. As far as you went spiritual, right? And we talk about wealth. I think first and foremost, you got to invest in yourself from an education standpoint, skill standpoint, trades, whatever it is. Become an expert at your craft, and that's a good thing about America. We talked a lot about the negative, but the one thing about America is you can find a lane, you can maximize that lane. You never know where you can go with that, but within that, you're going to have to maximize off of those, whatever that talent is, maximize that talent and find the avenues that complement that. So, for example, myself, I picked up, the thing I picked up was a basketball. Within that, the basketball got me my education. My education led to my master's, right? And I have a career in that lane. Then I picked up the camera. What do I do with the camera? I built a business. Well, within that business, now I'm getting into filmmaking. Everything I do, I want to create arms off of that, right? And create multiple streams of income. And if we just talking about wealth, I think what you got to do is create multiple streams of income, manage those streams to the best you can, manage your relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make your name is what's going to resonate. You can have all these different ideas and whatnot, but if you're not respected, people don't appreciate you, and you don't follow through with what you say you're going to do, show up on time, show up, period. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that integrity, wealth is going to be impossible, right? So you got to get to the point where you can lose your money and regain it just like that off of one deal because somebody willing to give you that opportunity. That's how you build wealth in my experience. You understand? Not that I'm wealthy, but I'm creating a formula of wealth financially. But I feel as though I'm wealthy in terms of the relationships I've been able to build and the experience I have, and that's where we at.
I would say I do believe it's possible for the black community for wealth to build, and I believe it's many opportunities. I just think sometimes it just take showing that it's a leader to lead that way, and just learning the craft. Take a time to read about different avenues of when it comes to money or certain other things. So I do believe it's possible that wealth will be something that can continue.
Wealth is definitely obtainable for all of us. I don't think that there's anything that not one person or persons can do individually. We can always do whatever we need to do, whatever we want to do as far as it comes to wealth. Knowledge is obviously the part of it. Most of the reason why we don't have wealth is because we just don't know that we can obtain it. Once you learn the knowledge, you can literally do anything with it. The second most important part to wealth to me is discipline. You can touch a million. Hey, there's people who have been millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, whatever the case is, and have lost it. You know, I think that's worse than almost not even having it at all, you know, to be completely honest with you. Imagine you had 10 million in your account at one time and now you have $10, like, you know. So just because you can have it, you know, getting there is just is a 10% of it, just getting there, getting to the wealth. And you have to maintain the wealth. You have to have people to maintain it for your family when you're not there. So it's like, you gotta really be disciplined. I always say, like, if I told you like you had to sweep up the whole Broad Street to be rich forever for your life, you know, you could tell a million people that and they'll always get the answer, oh, yeah, we'll do it, that sounds good. But when you get to the people that actually need to do whatever they need to do it, they, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do it, even though they know the thing they need to do to get rich. So if you have discipline, I think that's the best thing you can do in wealth, because discipline is going to keep yourself wealthy. You need to do things that you don't like, and I think in this world people don't want to do things they don't like. They don't want to work a job they don't like, but that job that you don't like can teach you to do other things you don't like, which can get you rich. You know, like, I mean, sometimes being rich isn't about doing things that you like y'all, we do TikTok and all that nonsense, but you know, you can do something, you can do a job and be great at it and not like it and be rich off of it. But would you not do it just because you don't like it, or would you do it just because it can make you rich? So it's kind of like that mentality like that. So go for the wealth, go for the knowledge, and make it happen.
I don't know if I should have answered this question. I'm not sure about that. Wealth is a concerted effort from a collective. And for me, black people would have to put down something called ego. And I'm not sure if we're there yet, and that's unfortunate. I think there's always going to be wealthy black families, but if you're talking about a wealthy black race, I'm not sure if we have the mindset for that, the collectivism that it takes, the direction. I put here something about like a helpful, being helpful to the Central Empire, where there's people that are lawyers, there's people that are bankers, but they're all collectively helping. That, you know, I love, if you ever get a chance to walk through Chinatown, I mean, it's an amazing layout, the way that they have their restaurants, then they have the bank, then they almost have like the law firm next to the bank, then they have like daycares. It's almost like it's a concerted effort to make sure that they keep the money. They have their own bus depot. They have their own parking garages. I'm not sure if we're seeing that, and I'm not sure if we could get each other to do that. It's a lot of, you know, ego, you know, and everybody wants to do their own thing. But I hope for the better. But I wouldn't just say on camera that we can get to the wealth. I think there's some mental things that we have to work on the inside first to get there.
So we say as a race or as family?
Both. African Americans primarily.
I believe as black people, it's very possible, but it's not always very easy to achieve it. There's a spiritual dynamic, I believe, first and foremost, okay? We have to understand who we are and why we are here. Who are we as black people, and where are we at in this dispensation of time, number one. Number two, once we establish that, we have to have like-minded individuals that come together with the same goal. Because it's easier to become wealthy when you have a group of people who come together, as you said, collectively speaking, and pool our resources. A lot of people never even heard that word. We pool our resources. I'm just not talking about money, I'm talking about knowledge, okay? You may have the credit, he has the idea. This one has the handiwork with the hands. This one here, he know how to formulate plans. He knows, like the president, he has a cabinet. He's not the smartest one. He has a cabinet. You have to come together, pool your resources. But like I said, it's a spiritual dynamic. And then we don't even know who we are as an individual. We need to go in the mirror and say, well, who am I? A lot of people don't even know who we are, where we even come from. So where are we even going? Okay? So once you establish all those things, is how we can start to build some wealth. But you got to have a foundation of it. And that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, man. Basically, just reiterate by saying, you know, find out where you come from, come up with a foundation. You all have to work together. It's like I said, from a person like myself who's blessed, who doesn't have to work a day in his life no more. It's real simple. Like I tell people, it's kind of simple. I know it's not, but try moving with each other, like the Mexicans did, like the Chinese did. Come up with an infrastructure, come up with a plan, and then accelerate that plan. Like I said, it just takes time. People's gotta understand it takes time. We gotta work together. That's it.
Hey, my man, one more thing. financial literacy and discipline. Once your financial literacy is in place, once we have that, is the discipline. You gotta have discipline when you have money. Because you get money, you know, as we know, you can be a fool with money. But we gotta know how money works also. And a lot of things we don't understand is how credit works. You have all the money in the world, but the credit is gonna go further by degree than the money. This world is built on credit. Even when you buy cars, they don't care about the money that you have. They want to see, can you maintain that $30 credit card? You want a $16,000 to $50,000 loan. You say I'm a 700 score, but you got 2 lines of credit, a $300 credit card, and maybe a $500 credit card. You don't understand why you can't get a car. It's simple things like that. We got to understand how credit works. It's just financial literacy. You agree, right? You banking world, right?
Right here. You're absolutely right. Guess what? They come to the bank and get what? They want to come get lines of credit. They want to get business loans. They want to get business credit. And guess what you need to do that? Great credit. Now don't get me wrong. You can. It's not. We don't all start off with great credit. We have had great credit at one point, and it goes down. But again, mentality. You have a 580. It can only go up from there. You shouldn't even be discouraged. At least you got more room to grow and improve. You had an 800. You missed. One little thing happens and you might way down to 650. So again, always something to look forward to, always something to work. My phone bank, need business credit, credit card, anything like that, I got you.
So getting to my man that just walked in, my man Zach. Question for the floor.
Oh damn.
Is,
Okay.
Is it,
okay. All right.
Is it possible for us as African Americans in this country to build wealth, and how?
Yeah, absolutely, it's possible. It just requires discipline from us, man. You know, financial discipline. You know, if we can stop spending our money on the most frivolous stuff, you know what I'm saying, and learn to spend our money within our own community, and learn to, you know, invest. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, we can.
So you gonna wrap this joint up with
I don't patronize nobody, I don't patronize us.
So
I can live in my car in the store.
I'm going to say 100% yes. The reason why is because I've been doing the CPNG for a whole decade, October 17, 2014, and I've seen growth. I've seen growth in Ambition. When me and Ambition met at right downtown, we went to a networking event, and I was like, yo, you know who nice? That boy Ambition. I heard him online. I was talking about him. Wow. He was talking about me. He was talking about me. I got to make it out to a CPNG event. I was like, you know I'm Lewis, right? So that's how we actually met. But getting right to it, I seen people's potential grow, and I think that's the thing. I believe it's a rapper out west. His name is Raz Kai. Some of y'all might know him. He had a song out called Nature of the Threat. Our potential is essential. When we keep talking to each other, everybody, all right, I'll put it to you like this. We're the best when we bring out the best in each other. We always going to have perspectives about certain things. Every man respectively has his own perspective. Every man has his own ways about doing things, but we all get affected by certain things in the same way. And you gotta think, whoever is wealthy right now, somebody or something tapped into that potential to make them great. I got crazy faith. I got crazy faith that we all can be black trillionaires. People are like, you crazy, but somehow, some way it can happen. But I'm gonna say, when we tap into that potential, when you tap into your talent, when you tap into your gifts, and when you got people coming to you for gifts, it can happen. The reason why a lot of people are wealthy now, especially with the tech age, is because they're doing things in concert. What do I mean by doing things in concert? Numbers. The strength in numbers. I've seen it happen. So what you want to do is you definitely want to make sure that you talk to people, because eyes equal buys. The more people that you get in front of, the more people that you can tap into your potential. All right. So right now, I just want to thank everybody who came out. You will see your name up in the credits and the staff. We had a wonderful time with my man Rue over there with the CPNG Shop Talk. We definitely are going to have a second one. Next time we're going to get some women. So everybody give themselves a round of applause. I'm pretty sure the women going to run.
Definitely better than LeBron James.
Especially when he started flowing with it, right?
Yeah.
No, bro.